Hey there folks, and welcome to this video. Here I'm talking about the announcement of F1 2021, coming in the same week as WRC 10 being announced. However, whereas WRC 10 is going to be released in September, F1 2021 is being released in July. So it's a 3-month turnaround instead of a 5-month turnaround. And there are some bits which I'm really looking forward to seeing as part of Codemasters' first foray into being under the EA publishing house. Some bits where I'm a bit concerned, and some bits where you could be critical. So let's talk about that over the course of this video. Firstly, one of the things I'm really looking forward to seeing is seeing both my team and another more developed story mode appear in this title. Now, in case you aren't aware, F1, whilst being developed by Codemasters, is developed by two different teams within Codemasters. One team usually does the evens, the other team the odds. And typically, I find that I prefer the evens. Your 2010, 2012, 2014, 2016, 2018 and 2020. Though 2019 was one I also really enjoyed. 2017 had a lot of brilliant ideas, I just didn't get much enjoyment out of playing it. And that's where I'm really looking forward to seeing what 2021 is going to be like. Because 2019 was a solid game, and like I've just said, for me, a lot of the odd-numbered ones I just didn't agree with. 2011, 2013. I never owned 2015. 2017... yeah, and 2019 was the first one I really enjoyed, so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with 2021. And that's included the new game modes as well. They're talking more about the split screen coming back, which I haven't actually been able to make the most of for 2020 yet, though I am always an advocate for split screen racing games. It's a brilliant thing to have. But there are also other little bits and pieces they're looking at doing. A 2-player career would be brilliant to have back in Formula 1. I mean, they've done the kind of 2-player season play before, and the real season start, which is supposedly going to be updated to integrate the actual season into the game, which is fantastic. It also seems as if they're looking at trying to have a bit more of a casual base, but also a bit more of a professional and expert base and more sim racing, which I'm always going to be an advocate for as well. And this is one of the reasons why I think that the EA partnership with Codemasters, or the EA acquisition of Codemasters, could be good, is because it could mean that Codemasters finally have the funding to go out there and do more stuff they want to do. It's why I'm looking forward to their WRC titles. However, at the same time, for all of that kind of investment, there are still some drawbacks. For example, some of the tracks such as Jeddah, but also Portimao and Imola, won't be available in the game at launch. Now, I understand Jeddah not being the case because we've never been there before. But Portimao, you could easily have... Codemasters already have Portimao in Grid Autosport. Sure, they have to update it so it will be integrated in F1 2021, but they already have the track. And whilst Imola isn't one that they necessarily have either, it's not too hard to do. Kunos have got a couple of different versions of it. Razer have got their own version of it. iRacing's got its own version of it. And Razer's version is the one that's used in R-Factor. So it's not like it's actually going to be too hard to get, or too hard to base off of, depending on whether or not they're doing scanning. I hope they are doing scanning though, because that would be one of the best ways to be able to make use of those resources they're going to have through EA's acquisition. And to be honest, that is my major concern, or criticism when it comes to F1, is that it's not going to be launching with full content. They're saying it's going to be as part of an update to the game. Likewise with F2 2021, like we had with F2 2020, though that came really late in the season last time around. I don't mind it being late in the season. I don't mind, like, there being a longer time frame, just as long as we're aware of it up front. And I kind of hope it would be launched with full calendar, even if the track was out of date. To be honest, I was kind of hoping they'd go, if you want to do, we'll put 2020 in there. A bit like how when they did 2015, they put the entire 2014 season in there as well. And I think the other problem I have is that this is their first title with EA, and a lot of people are concerned about Codemasters partnering with EA. Largely because of EA's reputation of just gutting studios for all they have and then running away. I mean, I'm a BioWare fan. I'm aware of how scared we were that we were losing BioWare. Because we've also seen it happen with Pandemic as well. There is a reputation that EA has to just decide to take in everything from the studio that they can and then just, like, asset strip it. But I don't think they would with Codemasters. And the fact that they're still looking at developing it in their own engine rather than moving over to one of EA's ones, At least for now, that's brilliant. So I'm still staying optimistic. I'm staying optimistic that EA's investment in Codemasters should hopefully mean that on the market we're going to have some racing games, and some sim racing games as well, even if it's on the more arcadey end like a lot of people will say the F1 is, that, you know, could bring people in. And they're big budget, so they should have good kinds of content and good kind of production value. I'm really optimistic that that's going to happen. Likewise with Motorsport Games' acquisition of Studio 397. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye for now.